Hello everybody, today I'm gonna show you how to start your first API in C# using Visual Studio. In this case I'm using the 2022, but you can use older or newer versions. And also we use Postman to test our API. There are other applications that you can use besides Postman, but in this case I have Postman, so that's what I'm gonna use to test the API that I'm creating. I'm not creating anything fancy. It is gonna be a very cheap, very simple one, just so you see how it all starts. All right, let's go and create a new project, and I'm gonna choose the template Core Web API, and next. Let's name our API First API. That's the name of our project and our solution as well, as you can see over here. You can basically change the name, but let's keep like that and go next. And then we are going to use .NET 8 and leave the other things as it is. We want to create our controller as well. So next, create, and let's wait a little bit and we'll come up with our project. So it already creates a template for us, and there are two things here. We have a controller that is called Weather Forecast Controller, and we have a model. For the controller, this is where we define the route. On top of here, we say that it is API controller, and then there is a route. Each HTTP method has its own method. In this case here we have a simple one that is a get, and it accepts a HTTP GET as request, and then it will return a response in JSON that follows this data. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it, and it will open the browser for us with the route. Let's wait a little bit. All right, so this is our domain. In this case, I'm using localhost, and there is our controller name. And this already shows us a JSON based on the data that is provided here and some logic here. Let's click here to make it nicer and readable. So this is our JSON response. Okay, so in this case, let's change a little bit so you can understand how the route works. For example, here, the route is using only the controller as the endpoint. But let's change this and use, for example, API/ and restart our application. Now you see that there is a page not found because we changed the route. And there is another setup change that you can make to open this new endpoint as default, but let's go ahead here and change that. Let's add our /API, and that will return our data. So that's how we changed a little bit the route. Going back to Postman, we have a GET request. Let's copy that address, paste here, and send the request. So see, we get the same thing, a JSON response with status 200. Okay, so let's change a little bit more our route. Let's say that now our route is API, the controller name, and we'll say weather. If I can type, save this, restart the application, and then once it is running, we can add here /weather, and that now is hitting our API. If we hadn't changed anything, that would return not found. So now you can just leave it like that, and we have our response. Okay, so now let's create a simple post request. So just copy that, because I'm a little bit lazy to type all of this, and actually let's delete this. And we want to return just a string to say this is a post, and reload world, very famous phrase in the programming world. And let's say that is a post, and our route is the same as you see here, weather forecast, which is our controller. And here, instead of weather, we are going to add down here, we are going to say that it is a post, and let's change the HTTP to be a post. Also, we have to change this. I usually use action results, and I return, I said that it is a 200 here. We'll talk more about this later on when we actually start coding something more complex. But for now, I'm returning just simple string with the 200 code that you see here, and the route is all of this, the controller name / post. So let's go back to Postman, change that to post, and of course let's restart the application. Don't forget that, and wait. Once it is running, you can just send it. Oops, method not found. What we did wrong? We didn't change, right here I said there was a post, so we have to change this, saying that we are sending a post request. So let's go that. Now you see post for hello world. And you could use another method here, for example, HTTP, depends on what you're doing, so you kind of choose some of this. Let's say that you're doing a put, and then let's change this to put. Or actually, let's just create another one, right? Let's leave this one here. Let's create a put request. So you can type put and change this to put. By the way, you can name it anything that makes sense to what you're coding. Since I'm just running some tests or showing you guys how to do this, I am not concerned about the naming here. So just let's go with put here, hello world, start application. And then on Postman, you have to change this to a put. And now our route is that we want to is this one. Then we have to change here to put and send it. So now we get our response. Okay, so the main goal here was to show you how to start an API in C# using Visual Studio. We'll go more into details later on. I will show you how to connect to the database, return the data from the database as a JSON. But this was just a way to show you that it's very simple to start a API on Visual Studio. Okay, I will see you in the next video. Bye.